Imagine a life where every slammed door, every unanswered text, every "no" you hear echoes not with defeat, but with opportunity. This isn't some new age affirmation, it's a cold, hard truth we're about to unpack. Forget chasing approval, which the world often prioritizes. Real power lies in transforming rejection into your most potent weapon. Are you ready to dismantle the crippling narratives around rejection and forge an unshakable inner core? This isn't just about surviving the sting of rejection, it's about harnessing it to propel you to heights you never thought possible. Today, we're diving deep into a transformative journey, dissecting 13 powerful lessons, curated for men ready to seize control and rewrite their story. These aren't your run-of-the-mill platitudes, these are actionable strategies, forged in the fires of experience, designed to flip the script on rejection, especially within the complex landscape of modern relationships. Get ready to fundamentally alter your perception, because by the end of this exploration, rejection will no longer be a weakness, but your greatest catalyst for growth. Think you can handle the raw, unfiltered truth? Then buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey that will challenge your assumptions, ignite your potential, and leave you equipped to not just withstand rejection, but to thrive because of it. Many men find themselves entangled in the web of rejection, whether it manifests as the chilling silence of being ghosted, the sting of being outright ignored, or the blunt force of a flat-out no. This can leave you feeling adrift, questioning your worth, and drowning in a sea of self-doubt. But here's the crucial pivot point: every single instance of rejection is, in reality, a raw, untamed opportunity to forge an unshakable inner strength, a resilience that will serve you in every facet of your life. This isn't about masking the pain or pretending it doesn't exist, it's about understanding its underlying mechanism and redirecting its energy towards your own evolution. And listen closely, because this journey requires your full attention. Don't even entertain the thought of skipping ahead, as the most powerful lesson, the keystone that unlocks the entire process, awaits you as a bonus at the very end. Trust me, you won't want to miss it, because this single piece of wisdom could be the decisive factor that separates you from remaining trapped in a cycle of self-pity and transforming into the man who not only weathers rejection but thrives in its wake. Lesson 1: Ignore them too. Let's confront the initial impulse head-on. When someone inflicts the sting of rejection, your immediate instinct might be to embark on a relentless pursuit, to win them over, to painstakingly prove your inherent worth, to desperately convince them they've made a colossal mistake. This is the classic chase mentality, fueled by ego and insecurity, and it's a trap that ensnares countless men. But here's the cold, hard truth, delivered with unwavering certainty: chasing someone who has already rejected you is the single fastest route to eroding your self-respect, diminishing your value, and ultimately pushing them further away. It doesn't matter if the source of rejection is a potential romantic partner, a discerning boss, a fair-weather friend, or any other figure in your life. When someone actively pushes you away, when they make it unequivocally clear that they don't value your presence, your response should be stark, unwavering, and seemingly counterintuitive: ignore them too. Sounds harsh, doesn't it? It might even feel inherently wrong, violating the ingrained societal programming that encourages persistence and relentless pursuit. But this isn't about being malicious or vindictive, it's about understanding the fundamental dynamics of power, value, and self-preservation. Attention, in this modern world, is the ultimate currency. It's a finite resource, a precious commodity, and how you allocate it directly dictates how you are perceived and how you value yourself. The more attention you lavish upon someone who has already rejected you, the more you inadvertently devalue yourself, signaling that you lack self-worth and are desperate for their validation. You've got to project an aura of self-sufficiency, an unwavering belief in your own inherent value, and demonstrate that you don't require their approval to thrive. This is the power play, the strategic maneuver that shifts the dynamic and reclaims your agency. Why is ignoring them so incredibly effective? Let's delve into the underlying psychology, the intricate dance of expectations and perceptions that governs human interaction. When someone rejects you, consciously or subconsciously, they anticipate a reaction. They expect a display of hurt, a plea for reconsideration, or some form of validation confirming that their rejection has had the desired impact. This expectation, in itself, provides them with an ego boost, reinforcing their sense of control and desirability. They derive a perverse satisfaction from witnessing your distress, solidifying their position of power in the dynamic. But when you shatter these expectations, when you defy their anticipated reaction and act as if their rejection holds no significance, it throws them off balance, disrupting their carefully constructed narrative and forcing them to confront their own motives. Suddenly, they're the ones grappling with uncertainty, questioning their decision, and wondering if they've miscalculated the situation. Why isn't he chasing me? Did I underestimate his value? Did I make a mistake? These questions, once firmly planted in your mind, now occupy their thoughts, effectively reversing the power dynamic and placing you back in control. In today's hyperconnected dating world, saturated with apps like Tinder, Bumble, and Instagram, rejection has become more pervasive, more public, and arguably more brutal than ever before. You craft a carefully worded message, only to be met with the deafening silence of being left on read. You invest time and energy into a date, only to be ghosted without explanation, left to decipher the cryptic signals of their sudden disappearance. Does any of this sound painfully familiar? This is the new normal, the relentless churn of the modern dating landscape. But here's what most men fail to grasp amidst this chaos: women, particularly those who are conventionally attractive, are often drowning in attention. Their DMs are flooded with unsolicited advances, their match queues are perpetually overflowing, and their social media posts are bombarded with a relentless stream of likes and comments. In this environment of overwhelming abundance, your attention, the very thing you're so eager to bestow, becomes cheapened, diluted, and ultimately, undervalued. So, what happens when you pull back, when you deliberately withhold the attention they've grown accustomed to receiving? What happens when you cease the pursuit and stop chasing? You instantly become a rarity, a scarce commodity in a world overflowing with readily available options. And in a world of abundance, rarity is power. It's the attribute that sets you apart, that elevates you above the noise, and that piques their curiosity. Here's the actionable strategy, the concrete steps you need to implement. The next time a woman leaves you on read, ghosts you without explanation, or rejects your advances in any way, resist the overwhelming urge to react. Don't fire off a barrage of desperate texts, don't inundate her with calls, and, for the love of your own self-respect, don't descend into the depths of stalking her Instagram feed, desperately seeking clues or validation. Instead, embrace the power of silence. Go dark. Focus your attention on your own life, your own grind, your own goals, the things that truly matter to your personal growth and fulfillment. Understand that you have bigger, more important things to occupy your time and energy than someone who is demonstrably incapable of recognizing your inherent value. By consciously choosing to ignore her, you're not only safeguarding your dignity and reclaiming your self-respect, but you're also strategically placing the ball back in her court. And guess what? More often than not, she'll be the one reaching out, initiating contact, and wondering why you've suddenly disappeared from her radar. She'll be grappling with the realization that you're not as easily manipulated or controlled as she initially assumed. But by then, you'll be so deeply engrossed in leveling up your own life, so focused on achieving your own goals, that you won't even care about her belated attempts to regain your attention. You'll have transcended the need for her validation, recognizing that your worth is not contingent upon her approval. Lesson 2: Don't react emotionally. Let's acknowledge the undeniable: rejection is a gut punch. It's a visceral experience that triggers the most primal regions of your brain, unleashing a torrent of emotions that scream, "I'm not good enough. I'm unworthy of love. I'm a failure." You might find yourself consumed by anger, frustration, a sense of profound disappointment, and even a desperate urge to prove your worth, to defend yourself against this perceived attack on your character. But listen carefully, because this is where the vast majority of men stumble and ultimately sabotage their own chances of recovery. The moment you allow yourself to react emotionally, you surrender all your power. That emotional outburst, that pleading text message, that angry, accusatory rant, these are all gifts to the person who rejected you. You're essentially handing them the keys to your emotional kingdom, broadcasting the message that their rejection has control over you, that it has the power to dictate your emotional state. And that, my friend, is the absolute last thing you want to do. Here's a fundamental truth that needs to be etched into your consciousness: emotional control is one of the most profoundly attractive qualities a man can possess. It's a marker of inner strength, resilience, and self-mastery, all traits that are highly valued in a potential partner. Women are biologically wired to test men's emotional stability, often unconsciously, to assess their suitability as a long-term partner and protector. When they reject you, whether intentionally or unintentionally, they're, in part, gauging your emotional response. Do you crumble under pressure? Do you descend into a spiral of self-pity and beg for their attention? Or do you maintain a cool, calm, and collected demeanor, demonstrating an unwavering sense of inner strength? The men who consistently maintain their composure in the face of rejection are the ones who truly stand out, the ones who command attention and respect. They're the ones women find themselves drawn back to, often inexplicably, because they've proven that they're not easily shaken, that they possess a level of emotional fortitude that is rare and highly desirable. They've demonstrated that they have something that most men desperately lack: inner strength. Think about it logically. When you react emotionally, what are you truly accomplishing? You're not changing their mind, you're not suddenly transforming yourself into their ideal partner. Instead, you're simply feeding their ego, reinforcing their sense of power over you. Whether it's a woman who rejected you after a single date, a friend who inexplicably ghosted you, or even a boss who passed you over for a well-deserved promotion, your emotional reaction serves as a clear signal that you're not in control of your own emotions. It communicates weakness, insecurity, and a lack of self-belief. And here's the cruel irony: the more intensely you react, the more they'll instinctively pull away. They've essentially got you on a leash, and every time you allow your emotions to run wild, you're tightening the noose, reinforcing their control over your emotional state. So, the next time you're confronted with the sting of rejection, whether in the realm of dating, career, or any other aspect of life, take a deep breath. Acknowledge the emotions that are surging through you: the anger, the frustration, the disappointment, but consciously choose not to act on them. Allow the storm to pass, to dissipate without dictating your behavior. Once you've regained your composure and clarity, make a rational decision, guided by logic and self-respect. Do you truly want to grant someone who has rejected you the power to control your emotions, to dictate your happiness? Or are you going to reclaim control, rise above the situation, and demonstrate that their opinion holds no sway over your self-worth? Here's a simple, yet incredibly effective exercise you can implement immediately. The next time you feel the overwhelming urge to react emotionally, to fire off a scathing text or launch into a defensive tirade, pause. Count to 10, slowly and deliberately. Then, count to 10 again. Continue counting, repeatedly, until the urge begins to subside, until you feel the emotional intensity begin to dissipate. Once you've regained control of your emotions, you can then make your next move from a position of power, not desperation. You'll be acting from a place of strength, guided by logic and self-respect, rather than being driven by the impulsive dictates of your wounded ego. Lesson 3: Remove them from your mind. Let's confront another uncomfortable truth: most men are slaves to their own thoughts, trapped in a relentless cycle of mental rehashing and obsessive rumination. You experience the sting of rejection, and suddenly, that person becomes the sole focus of your mental landscape, occupying every waking thought and infiltrating your dreams. You replay the conversation over and over in your head, meticulously analyzing every word, every gesture, every inflection, desperately searching for clues, wondering what you could have done differently to alter the outcome. Maybe if I had said something else, worn a different outfit, made a better joke, they wouldn't have rejected me. Stop right there. This obsessive overthinking is the death of confidence, the silent killer of self-esteem. Every time you allow yourself to dwell on someone who has rejected you, you're inadvertently granting them power over your mental state, allowing them to live rent-free in your head, dictating your thoughts and emotions. And that's the absolute last thing you need. Original content 6%. Let me share a crucial insight about high-value men, the men who exude confidence and attract success effortlessly. They don't squander their precious mental energy on individuals who demonstrably don't value them. If someone rejects them, they acknowledge the reality, shrug it off, and move on without a second thought. Why? Because they possess a profound understanding that their mental energy is their most valuable asset, a finite resource that must be carefully guarded and strategically allocated. They don't waste it on overanalyzing, overthinking, or obsessing over people who don't deserve it. They consciously choose to focus their attention on themselves, their goals, their purpose, and in doing so, they become unstoppable, radiating an aura of self-assuredness that is inherently magnetic. Here's the insidious problem with overthinking: it keeps you stuck in the past, preventing you from moving forward and embracing new opportunities. Instead of focusing on your growth and development, you're constantly looking backward, desperately trying to decipher where you went wrong, attempting to rewrite history in your mind. But here's the stark reality: you didn't necessarily do anything wrong. They simply weren't the right fit for you. Perhaps the timing was off, or maybe they simply didn't possess the capacity to recognize your inherent value. Either way, it ultimately doesn't matter. The more time and energy you invest in thinking about them, the less time you're dedicating to your own personal growth and self-improvement, and that's the real tragedy. That's the opportunity cost you can't afford to bear. So, how do you effectively stop thinking about someone who has rejected you? The answer is surprisingly simple, yet requires consistent effort and unwavering discipline: redirect your focus. Every time they pop into your head, every time you find yourself replaying past conversations or fantasizing about what could have been, consciously shift your attention to something else, something that aligns with your goals and values. Whether it's your work, your fitness, a new project, a creative pursuit, or any other activity that genuinely engages your mind and brings you a sense of fulfillment, don't allow them to hijack your mental space. Instead, use that energy to invest in yourself, to cultivate your skills, and to build a life that is independent of their approval. The next time you catch yourself obsessing over someone who has rejected you, immediately interrupt the thought pattern. Stop what you're doing and engage in a physical activity: go for a run, hit the gym, lift weights, or participate in any form of exercise that gets your blood pumping and your mind focused on the present moment. Alternatively, immerse yourself in a new book, a challenging puzzle, or any other activity that demands your full concentration and prevents your mind from wandering back to the source of your pain. The key is to find healthy, productive distractions that effectively take your mind off them and redirect your focus back where it rightfully belongs: on you. Lesson 4: Demonstrate your value. Let's confront another harsh, uncomfortable truth that often goes unspoken: people inherently value what they can't easily have. When someone rejects you, whether explicitly or implicitly, they're essentially communicating that, in their eyes, you're not valuable enough, not desirable enough, not worthy of their attention or affection. It's a brutal assessment, a direct hit to your self-esteem, but here's where most men make a critical error: they internalize that rejection as a permanent, unshakable statement of their inherent worth. They assume that just because one person didn't recognize their value, no one else ever will either. Let me stop you right there. This is a fundamentally flawed and self-destructive belief. Your value isn't determined by someone else's subjective opinion. Just because one person failed to see your potential doesn't mean it doesn't exist, nor does it mean that others won't recognize it. The most effective way to demonstrate your value, to both the person who rejected you and, more importantly, to yourself, is to actively and consistently demonstrate it through your actions, your achievements, and your overall lifestyle. Want to know what truly gets under the skin of someone who has rejected you? It's witnessing your success, watching you thrive without them, seeing you living your best life and achieving your goals in their absence. When they see you leveling up, hitting milestones, and radiating an aura of confidence and self-assurance, it'll hit them where it hurts, forcing them to confront the possibility that they missed out on something truly great. And here's the most crucial point: you're not doing it for them. You're not pursuing success or self-improvement in a desperate attempt to win them back or make them regret their decision. You're doing it for yourself, because you recognize that your worth is not contingent upon their approval. Their opinion of you simply doesn't matter anymore, because you've proven to yourself that you're valuable, capable, and worthy of happiness and success with or without their validation. Let me give it to you straight, success is the best revenge, not because you're driven by a desire to get back at them or make them suffer, but because it proves to yourself that you're capable of far more than they ever thought possible. It shatters the limitations they tried to impose on you and demonstrates your inherent resilience and potential. When you consciously focus on your own growth, your own success, and your own goals, you become untouchable, radiating an aura of self-sufficiency that is inherently magnetic. People start to notice, they start to recognize that you're not the same person they rejected, that you've evolved, you've leveled up, and now they're the ones who feel small, who question their own judgment. The next time someone rejects you, don't waste your precious time and energy trying to win them back or change their mind. Instead, channel that energy into becoming the best version of yourself. Start a new fitness routine, dedicate yourself to your career, acquire a new skill, or pursue a passion project that you've always been putting off. Whatever you do, do it for yourself, with the unwavering intention of becoming stronger, healthier, and more fulfilled. And when you start seeing results, when you start noticing how much you've grown and evolved, you'll realize that their rejection was, in fact, the best thing that ever happened to you, because it pushed you to prove to yourself just how valuable you truly are. Lesson 5, Cut off contact. Let's establish one thing unequivocally, cutting off contact is the ultimate power move in the aftermath of rejection. When someone rejects you, your initial instinct might be to keep the lines of communication open, to maintain a semblance of connection, however tenuous it may be. Maybe you harbor the secret hope that if you stay in touch, if you remain present in their life, they'll eventually change their mind, they'll come to their senses and realize the mistake they've made. Wrong. This is a dangerous delusion, a trap that will only prolong your pain and diminish your self-respect. Keeping in contact with someone who has already rejected you is the single fastest way to lose your self-respect, to undermine your value, and to grant them the power to continue manipulating your emotions. You're essentially giving them permission to come and go as they please, to keep you in their back pocket as a backup option, a source of validation to be accessed at their convenience. And you, my friend, are far better than that. You deserve to be someone's priority, not their afterthought. The moment someone rejects you, whether explicitly or implicitly, your response should be stark, decisive, and unwavering. Cut them off completely. This isn't about being petty or vindictive, it's not about playing games or seeking revenge. It's about reclaiming control of your life, protecting your emotional well-being, and reaffirming your inherent self-worth. When someone rejects you, they forfeit their right to access you, to occupy your thoughts, and to influence your emotions. They no longer deserve to know what's going on in your life, to witness your successes, to share in your struggles, or to benefit from your growth. You're essentially building a wall of self-respect around yourself, and they're firmly positioned on the outside, denied access to your inner world. Here's the psychology that underpins this strategy: when you cut off contact, you create mystery, and mystery is inherently powerful. When they can no longer see what you're up to, when they're deprived of the constant stream of information they've grown accustomed to receiving, they start to wonder, to question their decision, and to speculate about your life. They're forced to confront the possibility that you're doing perfectly fine without them, that you're living a fulfilling life independent of their presence. And that's when the tables truly turn. Most men mistakenly believe that staying in contact will somehow increase their chances of a second chance, that if they remain close and supportive, the person who rejected them will eventually come to their senses and change their mind. But here's the harsh reality: the more you stay in contact, the less valuable you become. You're essentially telling them that their rejection didn't matter, that you're still readily available for them whenever they want you, regardless of how they treat you. And that, my friend, is the fastest way to erode your self-worth and reinforce their perception of you as someone who lacks boundaries and self-respect. The next time someone rejects you, resist the urge to text them, to call them, or to engage with them in any way. And, for the sake of your own mental and emotional health, don't stalk their social media profiles, desperately seeking clues about their life or validation of their happiness without you. Instead, cut them off completely. Block them on social media, delete their number from your phone, and remove them from your life entirely. This isn't about playing hard to get, it's about protecting your mental and emotional well-being, setting clear boundaries, and signaling that you value yourself too much to be someone's backup plan. And trust me, when they see that you've moved on without them, that you're thriving in their absence, it'll mess with their head far more effectively than any words ever could. Lesson 6, Prove them wrong. Let me share a perspective that most people won't dare to voice. Rejection is, in reality, the best form of motivation you'll ever receive. When someone doubts you, walks away from you, or ghosts you without explanation, they're not just rejecting who you are in that particular moment, they're rejecting your potential, your capacity for growth, and your inherent worth. And that right there, that stinging sense of being underestimated, is the fuel you need to ignite your ambition, to push yourself beyond your comfort zone, and to level up your life in every conceivable way. The most empowering aspect of proving them wrong is that it's ultimately not even about them. It's about demonstrating to yourself what you're truly capable of achieving, about shattering the limitations they tried to impose on you, and about unleashing your full potential. You're not just proving them wrong, you're proving yourself right. You're reaffirming your belief in your own abilities and demonstrating that their opinion holds no sway over your self-worth or your capacity for success. Here's the fundamental truth: when they rejected you, they underestimated you. They failed to recognize your inherent potential, your unwavering determination, and your capacity for growth. But you, my friend, are going to prove them wrong in the most impactful way possible, by using every ounce of that rejection as fuel to propel your success. Whether it's in your career, your fitness, your relationships, or any other area of your life, you're going to rise so far above their expectations that they'll be left wondering how they ever doubted you in the first place. But here's the crucial caveat: don't pursue success in a desperate attempt to win them back or to make them regret walking away. Do it for yourself, because once you start thriving, once you start experiencing the joy and fulfillment of achieving your goals, you won't even care about what they think anymore. You'll have transcended the need for their validation, recognizing that your worth is independent of their approval. And trust me, that's when they'll really start paying attention, when they'll start to question their decision and wonder if they made a mistake. Here's the actionable strategy: set a personal goal that scares you, something big, ambitious, and seemingly unattainable. It could be launching your own business, running a marathon, learning a new language, or any other challenge that pushes you far beyond your comfort zone. Then, work relentlessly, consistently, and strategically to achieve that goal. Let your results do the talking, let your success speak for itself. When they see you winning without them, when they witness your transformation and recognize your unwavering determination, they'll regret ever doubting you. But by then, you'll be too busy living your best life, too engrossed in your own journey, to even notice their belated attempts to regain your attention. Lesson 7, Go out and have fun. Listen closely, because this is a crucial step in the healing process. You've been rejected, and it hurts. I acknowledge that pain, I understand the disappointment, and I recognize the sting of being unwanted. But here's what you're absolutely not going to do: you're not going to sit around and wallow in self-pity, you're not going to overthink what went wrong, and you're certainly not going to waste your nights scrolling through their Instagram feed, obsessively wondering if they're happier without you. These are all self-destructive behaviors that will only prolong your pain and reinforce your sense of inadequacy. Instead, you're going to do the exact opposite: you're going to get out there and have the time of your life. You're going to live in a way that shows the world, and more importantly, yourself, that their rejection hasn't broken you, that it hasn't diminished your value, and that it certainly hasn't dictated your happiness. In fact, you're going to demonstrate that it's made you stronger, more resilient, and more determined to live life to the fullest. Here's why this strategy is so incredibly powerful: when you consciously choose to have fun, when you start living your life with joy, passion, and genuine enthusiasm, something incredible happens. Not only do you feel better about yourself, radiating an aura of positivity and self-assurance, but the people who rejected you start to notice. They see the pictures of you laughing with friends, the videos of you exploring new places, and the updates about you achieving your goals. And they start to wonder if they made a mistake, if they underestimated your resilience, and if they missed out on something truly special. Why? Because nothing is more attractive than a person who is genuinely enjoying their life, who exudes positivity, and who radiates confidence. People are naturally drawn to others who make them feel good, who inspire them, and who demonstrate that life is worth living to the fullest. So, while they're sitting there assuming you're heartbroken over them, you're out there living it up, embracing new experiences, and creating memories that will last a lifetime. And that, my friend, is going to mess with their head far more effectively than any amount of begging, pleading, or desperate attempts to win them back. The next weekend, make plans. Call up your friends, hit up that new restaurant or bar that everyone's been talking about, try a new activity that you've always been curious about, or explore a new part of your city. Go out, meet new people, engage in stimulating conversations, and most importantly, have fun. Document your experiences, capture the joy, and share it on your social media, not to rub it in their face or to make them jealous, but to remind yourself that you're living your best life without them, that you're capable of finding happiness and fulfillment independently of their presence. Lesson 8, build your social status, social dynamics and strategies to enhance your standing. Let's delve into a hard truth that most people are reluctant to admit: your value in the dating game is directly correlated to your social status. The higher your social value, the more attractive you become to potential partners. It's not solely about superficial attributes like looks or charm, it's about influence, respect, and the perceived value you bring to a relationship. High-value men don't chase approval because they don't need to. They naturally attract attention and respect because of the circles they move in, the value they provide to others, and the fulfilling lives they lead. If you want to truly rise above rejection, to transcend the need for external validation and to attract the kind of partners you desire, you need to consciously and strategically build your social status. This means actively positioning yourself as a man of value, a man of influence, and a man who is worthy of admiration. It entails elevating every aspect of your life, from your career and your network to your lifestyle and your personal brand. When you cultivate a reputation for being successful, driven, and respected, you won't have to chase women. They'll be drawn to you because they can see that you're a man who's going places, a man who has something valuable to offer, and a man who is worth their time and attention. Let's talk about relationships for a moment. Women are inherently attracted to men who are leaders, men who command respect and attention, men who possess the confidence and charisma to navigate social situations with ease. This isn't about being the loudest or most boisterous guy in the room, it's about being the guy who everyone wants to be around because you have something valuable to offer, whether it's your wisdom, your ambition, your humor, or your genuine presence. Women want to be around men who elevate them, who challenge them, and who inspire them to become better versions of themselves. And that's exactly who you're going to become. Start investing in yourself and your social circle. Join groups, clubs, or organizations where you can meet other driven, successful people who share your interests and values. Start networking and building connections that will help you elevate your life, whether it's in business, hobbies, or social settings. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with high-value individuals who inspire you, challenge you, and hold you accountable to your goals. Your social status is your calling card, the first impression you make on the world. Make sure it accurately reflects the man you're becoming, the values you uphold, and the potential you possess. Lesson 9, act like they don't exist. Want to know one of the most profoundly powerful moves you can make after experiencing rejection? Act like they don't even exist. That's right, consciously and deliberately cut them out of your mind, your thoughts, and your life entirely. Don't give them a second thought, don't waste your energy dwelling on the past, and don't allow them to occupy any space in your mental landscape. Here's why this strategy works so effectively: people are naturally drawn to what they can't have, to what is elusive and unattainable. When you stop acknowledging their existence, when you cease to engage with them in any way, you become a mystery, an enigma that they can't quite figure out. And what's more intriguing than a man who seems completely unaffected by rejection, a man who exudes an aura of self-sufficiency and indifference? Nothing. The minute you stop caring about their opinion, the moment you relinquish the need for their validation, is the moment you regain all your power. It demonstrates that their rejection doesn't define you, that it doesn't dictate your worth, and that it certainly doesn't control how you live your life. Imagine running into someone who rejected you, and instead of going out of your way to talk to them, to acknowledge them, or to seek their approval, you simply keep living your life as if they were invisible, as if they never existed. Trust me, that's going to mess with their head far more effectively than any confrontation, argument, or awkward conversation ever could. But here's the crucial point to remember: this isn't about playing games or being petty, it's not about trying to manipulate them or make them feel bad. This is about reclaiming your energy, protecting your peace, and reaffirming your self-worth. It's about showing yourself that you don't need anyone's validation to feel worthy, capable, and deserving of happiness. When you act like they don't exist, you're not being cold or callous, you're being in control. You're making it unequivocally clear that your happiness and success are independent of their opinion, that you're the master of your own destiny, and that their rejection holds no sway over your life. The next time you see someone who rejected you, don't go out of your way to acknowledge them, don't seek their approval or validation, and don't allow yourself to be drawn into a conversation. Just keep living your life as if they never mattered, as if their presence is irrelevant to your happiness and fulfillment. You'll be amazed at how much power that gives you, and how much it'll leave them second-guessing their decision. Lesson 10, Give them the silent treatment. Now, this one's going to hit hard, because it requires a level of discipline and self-control that most men struggle to achieve. Give them the silent treatment. But let's be clear, this isn't about ghosting or playing manipulative mind games. It's about protecting your peace, reclaiming your power, and regaining control over your emotional energy. Here's the deal: when someone rejects you, especially in today's hyper-connected world, the temptation is overwhelming to seek closure, to reach out and ask for explanations, to try and fix the situation, to salvage what's left of the relationship. But let me stop you right there. The most powerful thing you can do, the most impactful message you can send, is to go completely silent. Silence isn't weakness, it's not a sign of defeat, in fact, it's the ultimate display of strength, a testament to your self-respect and your ability to control your emotions. When you stop responding, stop engaging, and stop seeking validation from someone who rejected you, you take all the power back. You reclaim control of the narrative, and you force them to confront the consequences of their decision. And here's the kicker: they'll notice. They'll wonder why you haven't reached out, why you haven't begged for their attention, why you haven't tried to win them back. And that silence will eat at them, festering in their mind and prompting them to question their judgment far more effectively than any argument, explanation, or emotional outburst ever could. Think about it: when was the last time silence drove you crazy, when you were left wondering what someone was thinking, feeling, or planning? When you're accustomed to someone always being available, always responding to your messages, always seeking your attention, and then suddenly they go quiet, it's unsettling, unnerving, and deeply impactful. That's exactly what you're going to do: you're going to give them the silent treatment, not to manipulate them or to inflict pain, but to protect yourself, to safeguard your emotional well-being. You deserve your peace, your tranquility, and your emotional stability, and they no longer deserve the privilege of your attention. The next time someone rejects you, ghosts you, or otherwise makes it clear that they don't value your presence in their life, resist the overwhelming urge to reach out, to try to fix things, or to seek an explanation. Just let them sit in the silence, let them grapple with the consequences of their actions, and let your silence be your answer, your definitive statement that you're moving on and that you refuse to be someone's second choice. It'll drive them crazy, it'll force them to confront their own motives, and meanwhile, you'll be leveling up in every area of your life, focusing on your goals, your passions, and your personal growth. Lesson 11, Don't beg for attention. Let's reiterate a crucial principle that you've likely heard before, but that bears repeating until it's deeply ingrained in your subconscious: never, under any circumstances, beg for attention. This is particularly critical in today's dating landscape, where a significant portion of individuals, particularly women, have come to expect men to endlessly chase them, to shower them with compliments and validation, and to relentlessly pursue their affection. Think about it for a moment. The very instant you start begging for attention, you're sending a clear message to the world that your value is contingent upon how much attention you receive from others. You're broadcasting insecurity, neediness, and a lack of self-worth, and nothing turns people off faster than a man who lacks self-confidence and a strong sense of his own inherent value. Here's the cold, hard truth: when you beg for attention, you're no longer a high-value man. You're instantly demoted to the position of the needy, the desperate, and the powerless. You're signaling that you lack options, that you're desperate for validation, and that you're willing to compromise your own self-respect in order to gain someone's approval. And guess what? Women, particularly those who are accustomed to receiving a lot of attention, can smell desperation from a mile away. They're acutely attuned to the subtle cues of neediness and insecurity, and they'll instinctively recoil from a man who exhibits these traits. The moment you stop begging for attention, the moment you relinquish the need for external validation, is the moment you regain your power. Stop waiting for others to acknowledge your worth, to shower you with compliments, or to grant you their approval. Focus instead on cultivating your own value, on pursuing your own growth, and on building a life that is intrinsically fulfilling, regardless of whether or not you receive external validation. The next time you feel the overwhelming urge to seek someone's attention, to send a desperate text or to fish for compliments, remind yourself of this fundamental truth: you're the prize. They should be seeking your attention, striving to earn your approval, and demonstrating their worthiness of your time and affection. So, if someone isn't giving you the attention you think you deserve, if they're taking you for granted or failing to appreciate your value, cut them off. Silence is your new best friend, the ultimate demonstration that you value yourself too much to tolerate being someone's second choice. If they don't appreciate you, they don't deserve you. End of story. Lesson 12. Be kind but emotionally distant. Here's where things get truly interesting, where we move beyond the simplistic binary of being either overly nice or completely cutting someone off. A lot of guys mistakenly believe that when someone rejects them, they have to either go all in on being super nice, showering them with compliments and performing acts of service in a desperate attempt to win them back, or cut them off completely, becoming cold, aloof, and unapproachable. But what if I told you there's a far more effective approach, a more nuanced strategy that allows you to maintain your dignity, protect your emotional well-being, and potentially even pique their interest? Be kind, but emotionally distant. This strategy is incredibly powerful because it demonstrates that you can still be respectful, courteous, and even friendly without sacrificing your self-respect or allowing yourself to be emotionally vulnerable. It shows that you're the bigger person, that you can move on without drama or resentment, but it also makes it clear that they no longer have access to your emotions, that they no longer possess the power to dictate your happiness or control your feelings. Being kind doesn't mean being a doormat, allowing them to walk all over you or take advantage of your good nature. You can smile, exchange pleasantries, engage in light-hearted conversation, and even share a laugh, but emotionally, you remain untouchable, protected by an invisible shield of self-respect and emotional detachment. The key here is balance. You're polite, but not overly friendly; you're warm, but not available; you're respectful, but not subservient. You show them that you're capable of moving on without harboring any ill will, but you also make it clear that your emotional walls are up and that they're no longer welcome inside. The next time you see someone who's rejected you, give them a nod, a smile, or a quick hello, but that's it. No deep conversations, no pouring your heart out, no rehashing the past. Keep it light, keep it brief, and keep it moving. You're in control now, not them. You're dictating the terms of the interaction, and you're refusing to allow yourself to be drawn into an emotional entanglement that could jeopardize your healing process. This isn't about playing games or trying to manipulate them, it's about maintaining your dignity, protecting your self-respect, and demonstrating that you're capable of moving on without allowing their rejection to define you. It's about showing them that you can be kind and respectful without being emotionally invested, that you can be friendly without being vulnerable, and that you're perfectly capable of navigating social situations with grace and composure, regardless of their presence in your life. Lesson 13, Never reveal your struggle. Listen carefully, because this is a critical principle that will serve you well not only in the aftermath of rejection but throughout your entire life. Never reveal your struggle. Rejection is tough, it's painful, and it can shake you to your core, but the worst thing you can do is wear your pain on your sleeve, to broadcast your vulnerability to the world, and to allow others to witness your emotional distress. Why? Because when you show people your struggle, you're inadvertently giving them power over you. You're showing them that they have the ability to affect your emotions, to influence your mood, and to disrupt your life. And let's be honest, not everyone deserves that kind of power. Not everyone has your best interests at heart, and some people may even derive a perverse satisfaction from witnessing your pain. Here's the harsh reality: when you reveal your struggle, it doesn't necessarily make people feel sorry for you, and it certainly doesn't guarantee that they'll offer you their support. In many cases, it actually makes them see you as weak, vulnerable, and less desirable. They may pity you, but they'll likely also lose respect for you, and they may even start to distance themselves from you, fearing that your negativity will drag them down. You might mistakenly believe that opening up and showing vulnerability will make people care about you more, that it will foster connection and encourage empathy. But in most cases, especially in the dating world, vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, not a strength. It can signal insecurity, neediness, and a lack of self-sufficiency, all traits that are generally considered unattractive. The key is to keep your pain to yourself, to process your emotions privately, and to avoid broadcasting your struggle to the world. Let your struggle fuel you, not break you. Use it as a catalyst for growth, a source of motivation to improve your life, and a reminder of your own resilience and strength. But never let anyone see you crumble, never let them witness your despair, and never give them the satisfaction of knowing that they have the power to control your emotions. If you're going through a tough time after being rejected, keep it to yourself. Don't post about it on social media, don't text them telling them how much you miss them, and don't seek sympathy or validation from others. Handle your struggle in private, seek support from trusted friends or family members if necessary, and let the world see you as strong, composed, and unaffected by their rejection. Trust me, nothing makes people regret their decisions more than seeing you unaffected, thriving, and radiating an aura of self-sufficiency and inner strength. Congratulations, if you've made it this far, you've unlocked the bonus lesson, the keystone that ties all the previous lessons together and provides a transformative perspective shift that will revolutionize the way you view rejection forever. And let me tell you, this one's the most powerful of them all: rejection is redirection. Let that sink in for a second. Every time you're rejected, whether in relationships, your career, or any other aspect of your life, it's not a failure, it's not a reflection of your worth, and it's certainly not the end of the world. It's the universe, or whatever higher power you believe in, redirecting you to something better, something more aligned with your true purpose and your ultimate happiness. Think about it: how many times have you looked back on something or someone you once wanted so badly and thought, wow, I really dodged a bullet there. I can't believe I was so fixated on that, because it would have been a disaster for me. That's redirection at work, subtly guiding you away from paths that would have led to disappointment and towards paths that will lead to fulfillment. Rejection is the universe's way of saying, hey, this isn't the right path for you. This isn't the person you're meant to be with. This isn't the opportunity that will lead you to your greatest potential. I have something better in store for you, something that is perfectly aligned with your needs and your desires. The problem is, most people are too blinded by the immediate pain of rejection to see the bigger picture, to recognize the opportunity that lies hidden within the disappointment. They cling to what's lost, they dwell on the past, and they fail to embrace what's coming. But if you can consciously shift your mindset, if you can train yourself to view every rejection as a stepping stone to something better, as a sign that you're being guided towards a more fulfilling path, you become unstoppable. You reclaim control of your life, you embrace the unknown with confidence and enthusiasm, and you trust that everything is happening for a reason. The next time you're rejected, I want you to pause, take a deep breath, and say to yourself, this isn't rejection, it's redirection. And then, start actively looking for the new opportunities that this rejection has opened up, the doors that have been unlocked, and the paths that have been revealed. Maybe it's a new relationship with someone who is a better fit for you, a new job that aligns more closely with your passions, or even a new version of yourself, stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. Whatever it is, trust that it's better than what you left behind, that it's leading you towards a brighter future, and that it's ultimately guiding you towards your highest potential. Rejection is no longer your enemy, it's your greatest ally, your most trusted guide, and your most powerful catalyst for growth. With these Stoic lessons, you'll flip the narrative on rejection, transforming it from a source of pain and disappointment into a source of strength, motivation, and opportunity. You'll use it to become stronger, more confident, more resilient, and ultimately, unstoppable. Remember, every no you face is just a stepping stone to something greater, a redirection towards a more fulfilling path, and a reminder of your own inherent worth. You've got the tools now, it's time to apply them, to embrace the power of rejection, and to create a life that is truly extraordinary. Before you go, I want to know, are you ready to turn rejection into your biggest strength, to harness its power and to use it to propel you towards your greatest potential? Drop a comment below and let me know how you're going to use these powerful lessons in your life, what specific actions you're going to take to reclaim your power and to create a life that is independent of external validation. If this video gave you value, if it provided you with insights that resonated with you and inspired you to take action, please help support the channel by joining our memberships, where you'll gain access to exclusive content, personalized coaching, and a supportive community of like-minded individuals. Alternatively, you can simply hit that subscribe button, which will ensure that you never miss another valuable video and will help us continue creating quality content that empowers men to live their best lives. Either way, it helps us continue creating quality content and makes YouTube recommend this video to as many men as possible, allowing us to reach a wider audience and to share this transformative message with those who need it most. Thank you for watching, and remember, rejection is not the end, it's just the beginning.